Hey, I apologize for what happened not too long ago. We were experiencing technical difficulties, and now we are back at it again. You know, I feel as though I came at it the wrong way because I didn't introduce the lady with whom we are speaking. And let us know who you are. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I was a dancer for 4 years until I got out to get into the medical industry. But I mean, aside from that, I don't really want to, you know, say too much about myself. But that's what's relevant to what we're talking about today.
I wasn't trying to ask you all that, woman. I was talking about who you were to me, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get on that
Oh,
later.
I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't know
no,
that you wanted me
no,
to put that.
no,
Do you want
no.
me
Too late for
to?
that. All
Well,
right,
that's up to you.
so as you heard her say, she was in the game for some time, and not only if you have met her, you would have never figured this out. You would have never, put two and two together. Like, not you. She's the most quiet, docile, you see what I'm saying, person, and the next thing you know, it's like them glasses come off and she turns into a totally different person. So when she told me she was in the game, I was surprised. And I would ask her different questions, just to pick her brain. And one thing that she said that stuck out to me was that she was making so much legal money, there was no point for her to turn tricks. Now, I asked you earlier, were girls, and this is all the little shake jumps you was working at. Were girls turning tricks in all of the spots?
Yeah. I didn't know any of them personally. Well, one I did, but yeah, they were everywhere I went. There was someone doing it. But to be honest, they weren't really the most attractive ones there. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It was just something I was never interested in doing anyway. Like I just had lines, I had boundaries that I wasn't gonna cross, and that was one of them.
Okay, so with that being said, right, with the customers that, because one thing that always like cracked me up is when you would tell me about how y'all would go out to eat with customers. So when y'all would go out to eat, did they pay for y'all as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so they paid, so they met y'all at the shake jump. You see what I'm saying? Dropped
Hmm.
thousands upon thousands of dollars. You see what I'm saying? Took y'all out to eat
Hmm.
and didn't ask for anything in return.
No.
Not at
No.
all.
The luckily the people that I've dealt with, they never even asked. It never even came out of their mouth. So I'm not sure why. I don't know what was going on in their head, but they never said anything.
And the reason why I bring this up is because I just don't really understand. Me personally, I don't understand what the end game is. I mean, is it charity? Is it? I mean, because from what you were telling me, these guys was spending big money.
Yeah, and a lot of them were married, and a lot of them, the white ones anyway, it just seemed like they wanted to be around something different because their wives were, Miranda and Beth. So I guess they were kind of bored with that and just wanted to be around someone. They were good looking women, though. Sometimes the women would even come with them. Um, I don't know. And they're swingers. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't understand either, but I don't know.
Okay,
People just have their thing.
and could you see yourself dating a customer, or let's say if one of the customers were in there and they tried to court you, could you see yourself dating one?
I uh, I don't even call them a customer because I did date somebody. I did. The person you were talking about earlier who used to give me the stuff.
But he wasn't he
Um,
wasn't a customer though,
yeah,
was he?
that's why I said no. He came. I met him there, so I don't know if that would count as
Nah,
being a
because I
customer.
mean
Or,
that's he was a businessman. It just so happens you met him there though. When I say customer, I'm
yeah.
talking because he wasn't taking you and your homegirls out to eat. You see what I'm saying?
No.
He wasn't doing any of that. There's a difference.
No.
There's a it's a night and day difference between who I'm talking about and who he was. Who she's talking about is a businessman who was high up. You know, he was in the game heavy, and he used to give her whole things. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't understand, Hard Brownings was making money, well over six figures, well over six figures. So, so to answer your question, no.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't have considered it because with me, I wasn't, like I said, I was making money in a fair way. So I really wasn't scheming on how to, and maybe I could have probably made so much more money, but that didn't matter to me. I was like, look, this is good enough. So,
Now I was talking about as far as you dating a customer.
I, if it was someone who I was interested in, then yeah, I would have considered that.
Mm.
But you know, Mike and John, these white guys, I'm shallow, and money's not going to do it for me. It's just not, if I'm not physically attracted to you, there's nothing that can't happen. It won't happen. So
Hmm.
that's just me. I know a lot of women aren't like that, and they see dollar signs and, all their other, qualifications to go out the window. But no, mine
Hmm.
stay the same. If you're not physically attractive, if I wouldn't date you any other day, with or without the money, then I wouldn't date you just because you have money. And I definitely wouldn't fuck you just because you have money. So there was that.
Okay, so with that being said, right? Remember you was telling me about, hey, my man Ted Matrix. Hey, what's up with you, man? You've been coming through lately. I surely appreciate it. So the guy who's in the chat right now, he did a
Hmm.
request, man. I'm gonna drop a video for him. He's been really supporting the show, so I appreciate it.
That's
So,
good.
you were telling me about Pinky, right? And a
Hmm.
Ted Matrix. We talking about sponsors right now and trying to get into their headspace and see exactly what motivates them to do what they're doing. So, you remember you were telling me about Pinky,
Yeah.
and she had a sponsor, and she had a condo. I think it was like Alexandria somewhere, Arlington somewhere.
Yeah. She moved a lot. And it was always, some nice big condo, up in a high rise. Always something like that.
She was living rent free. Didn't have to
Hmm.
do no. I mean, but then again, he was getting a piece. But I'm like, man,
Well,
and the reason.
yeah. I was gonna say they were, like together. She was more or less, a mistress. He got all the
Yeah.
benefits. I can't. So I don't know if that really goes into that category, but yeah, he
See,
was.
and this is where I beg to differ, because what is he gaining when the only thing he's getting is a piece every now and then?
I
Because
don't know.
what I'm trying to, the point that I'm making here is, if you have to lead with your wallet, because it's not a fair exchange, though. It's really not a fair exchange, and if you have to lead with your wallet just for a piece, you're losing. So,
Hmm.
and these places were expensive. This is Northern Virginia we talking about. So I know he had to carve up some bread. And you said that
Yeah,
she was moving around a lot, and he was always paying the rent.
yeah. As far as I know, yeah.
Mm, couldn't be me.
And yeah, I mean, it's not a fair exchange, but like I said, I was never really interested in, you know, getting over on people or whatever. It just, I don't know. That's why I guess is that environment wasn't really for me after a while because it was just draining. When you're not that type of person, it's draining, no matter how much you're making. So
But
yeah.
see, how is it giving over on somebody? You see what I'm saying? You can't, if I go over to the most machine, well, I'm old school. If I go to the ATM and I automatically know the PIN number, then how am I to blame? You see what I'm saying? How am I to blame for taking you for everything you got? I'm all for the women. Hey, get your coins. OnlyFans, get your coins. You selling pussy, get your coins. What I'm talking
Hmm.
about is how the men, or males as I like to call them, don't have anything going for them besides leading with their wallets. And this is a shame, because at the end of the day, this woman doesn't see you nothing. You're nothing more to her than a dollar sign. You see what I'm saying? You gotta like admit, when we met, I ain't really have a dollar to my name. You see what I'm saying? I had a lot of potential and all of that, but I ain't really have a dollar to my name, as opposed to
Hmm.
the guys that was coming into the Shake Joint spending, like, I already know these dudes had bread. And what happened?
Yeah.
You chose
Yeah.
what a
They do.
motherfucking boss player. That's what happened.
Well, yes, that is what happened. But
You
I mean,
damn right.
that just goes to, what I just said. Money didn't really matter to me. Like, obviously, I could tell, just a bum, someone who's not trying to do anything or whatever, I could smell that a mile away. And I didn't see that with you. I was like, okay, you know, everybody is down sometimes. But if you're one of those people who just stay there, then I have nothing for you. But if we're gonna build and do something better and come out of that, then I'm cool with that. That's fine.
Hey, Ted, make sure you got any questions, man. If you got some, put them up in the chat, man. Hard Brownies was having it game tough, man. She done worked with some of the best girls, that are live and in the rec right now, and she's making some money just from the shake dancing alone. You was making six figures, right?
Yeah, I didn't have any other job other than that for the time I was doing it.
I'm talking about just from the shake dancing, not even what you was selling, because what you
Oh
was
yeah,
selling, you was making money off of that too.
yeah. It
So
was, just
you
from
was
the dancing.
you was touching some serious paper.
Yeah, and even without, going to dinner and all that, I easily was still making money without that too. That's why I just couldn't understand when I would see, these girls, just doing all that extra. I'm like, oh, dude, I wouldn't even do a house call. I'm sorry. I was one
What are
of
you talking
them.
about? You what? How dare you not do a house call?
No,
How dare you?
I had a really, well, maybe to me at the time he was really old, but he was gray. Maybe he was old. Maybe in his late 50s, 60s, and he, excuse me, he wanted me to come over to like beat him up like a dominatrix, I guess, like dress
Hmm.
up in the whole thing, and he was offering some good money, and I was just like, I can't do it. Like I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, I'm sorry.
All right,
I
we're
mean, he
gonna we're
found
gonna have
somebody
to
else, but
we
no.
we gonna have to. That's for a whole nother live right there. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
right now we just talking about sponsors. We ain't talking about pay pigs and bambas into that other stuff. That's for the underworld.
Yeah,
You
but
see what I'm
honestly,
saying?
I feel like sometimes because you were asking what their motive is, I feel like sometimes whatever's going on in their head, like in a way, it's underworld. They like you said, they like to lead with their wallet. It's like a power thing to them.
Hmm.
Their money is their power. So, and I'm not the one who's going to take that from anybody, sir. If that's what you want to do, if that's what makes you happy, whatever, fine.
Okay, so you know, explain to them how when I found out about because I don't. What's her name? What's the name we're gonna use for her?
Um, shit.
All right,
Let's see.
let's just call her America's Best.
Okay, that's
Okay,
good.
so America's Best, right? Hey, Ted Matrix. This is how sad we are in 2021. So America's Best, she had a sponsor. What is she? She met him at Shake Jones too, right?
Yeah, he was like one of those. He would take us out to dinner and whatnot.
Take him out to dinner. Oh, he said fact or fiction. Oh, he said fact or fiction. Women don't like crybaby men and can feel a person on how they act.
Oh, that's fact. That's a
O-
fact for sure.
Okay, and elaborate.
Perfect example. There was a bouncer at one of the clubs I used to work at, and before he would open his mouth, he was definitely my type. But we went out to eat like once after we left the club, and he was very just clingy, crybaby. I mean, like actual tears, like crying. I'm like, oh hell no. And this guy, he would be beating people up, throwing them out the door and everything, very manly on the outside. But when, like, he was just way too soft, I didn't like that at all. So that completely, just ruined that whole situation. It could have been something, and he ruined it. No.
Okay, so back to America's Best.
Hmm.
So she has a sponsor. She met him in y'all knew him from the Shake Joint.
Hmm.
Hey, Ted Matrix, this dude was like I remember because we had her graduation. She was graduating. This dude, was he not? Hard Brownies. Was he not? He said, oh yeah, we just came back from Jamaica. We spent time here. We spent time there. We went to this
Hmm.
place. Only the best. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, what are you getting out of this equation? I just really couldn't figure out, what was the purpose of him doing all of this.
Hmm.
Because to my knowledge, he didn't even get a whiff of the pussy.
Well, to my knowledge, that's all I know. And but it. I just know her, and if she would have done something, I mean, there's no reason for her to keep that from me. She would have told me any other time. So I just assumed that they never did anything because
And
that was
then
her
and
story.
then so she got a so the dude she went so all right. So basically the reason why I'm saying this, right, is because this dude is taking her on trips around the world. They whining and dining at 5-star restaurants, and he ain't get but a whiff. Now she got a dude that that's more her speed. You see what I'm saying? He tamed her. He getting everything that old boy couldn't. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I be trying to tell dudes like, why are you leading with your wallet? That whole tricking if you got it, that's bullshit because you have to if you don't got it, then you can't trick. You see what I'm saying? So the purpose of you doing it is to trick. So I couldn't really understand it. This is coming from somebody, and I never told you this, neither. But I remember when and I had to learn. I was at Harlem Nights one time in Houston, and I spent like $7,500. I'm trying to boss ball and stunt. I felt so bad. I felt so bad with parading around fronting when I could have used that 7,500 invested it. You see what I'm saying? Into something into something that I would have been able to show for. You see what I'm saying? But I wanted to
Mm.
be like everybody else. They came through and shut that shit down with the quickness.
Yeah.
Hey Ted, my man Ted said it's messed up. Hey, it is what it is, man. You see what I'm saying? You can't complain to the referees. You got to learn the rules. It's a dirty game. You know, hey, if he's willing to take her out on these trips, by all means, do what you got to do. But it's just the fact that he wasn't man enough to get what he wanted up front. You see what I'm saying? When you going, when you're going these lengths and doing all of this other stuff. Okay, like Hard Brownies when I was doing yesterday, I did a drop on OnlyFans, right? And I
Hmm.
said the men that are subscribers to these girls OnlyFans, they got girls buying phantoms. They have girls paying off houses on OnlyFans. That's a shame. You see what I'm saying? You can't even call yourself a man if it's like that. You can't call yourself a man. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel? You talking to me, Ray?
Yes.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
don't be saying my government. Keep that
Oh,
on the hush.
okay. How do I feel? I mean, it's like what you were saying. I think it's a shame, and because I know women probably subscribe to that shit too, which is weird. But hey, that's what they do.
I mean,
I'm
it's
not
sad.
against it. If you pay off your college or whatever you're doing, what can I say? Because it's fair money. No one's putting a gun to these people's head, making them give them this money. It's fair. It's legal. Just
Mhm.
I think it's sad. I would never do it, but I just feel like that's why a lot of women can't be taken seriously anyway. It's like why is this the way? Pretty much the only way for you to be able to pay off a phantom or pay off a house or whatever. You gotta get on OnlyFans and be a porn star basically. That don't look right.
I'm not gonna knock anyone's hustle, and like I said, I encourage women to go out there and get it. These girls with these 1.4 million subscribers on Instagram, follows on Instagram, I'm all for it. You see what I'm saying? What I'm talking about, where I draw the line, is I don't even want to be associated with a guy that has a premium Snapchat or a guy that's on some girls only. Because I can't fool with nobody like that. The dudes that I
Mm,
roll with ain't nothing like that at all. They really the pimping, so they look at that as some sucker shit.
mm,
So you know, one of the girls from Thick Man, this girl in his group, she has her OnlyFans and she making some good money. And I asked her a question. I said, "Hey, could you see yourself, you know, could you see yourself being interested in any of the guys, who pay for your content?" She straight up said no.
mm,
She straight up said no because The dudes in their mind, they have this fantasy playing as if they are going to magically get this woman's attention. You see what I'm saying? When that's not the case at all. She's not even paying attention to none of these motherfuckers.
Mm,
You know, the dude that's not paying her no mind, the dude that doesn't
right.
even know what OnlyFans is the dude that's gonna get her best.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and even then, I feel like, you know, a guy like that shouldn't even be messing with a woman who has a OnlyFans. That's just my opinion. Because if that's all you have to offer, that if that's all you could do, like that's not gonna be what I'm known for. I'm not gonna pay off a house from, you know, fucking myself on a camera. I'm not doing it.
Hey, what you want? Hey,
I'm sorry.
self fucking is where it's at. You see what I'm saying? That's where it's at. Hold on, real quick. Somebody hit my job. Hold on.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should already know. I'm in the hood right now. I'm out here where it go down at. Now everybody hit my phone. Hey, Hard Brownies, I want you to give them a little bit of a little background with how you got introduced to the game. You see what I'm saying? What a normal night was and stuff like that. Cause my boss just called me. Hold on real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't be a stranger. We got some people watching. You see what I'm saying? You
Oh,
gotta,
okay. Well, I started dancing. I was 19, I think, and I went to 1320. It's not there anymore. It was in Springfield, Virginia, where you got to wear the pasties and all that. So, it was a little place. And my friend, who we were just talking about, what did he call her? America's Best. She seen that I was working in the mall, 19 years old, just got out of school. So, didn't really have a good job. And shit was hard. So, my friend said, hey, come here and check it out. Just get dressed really nice and, look cute and just come down and see what I do because it's really not that bad. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, girls in here having sex for money, which some do, but that's all I was thinking of. So, I was like, I'm not going to do this. But I went, bills were due. And I went in there and I didn't even work that night. I was just there to sit with my friend. I sat with her and whatever customer she was with. I left there with like $100 and I didn't even go there to work. I was just, basically filling out the place. So when that happened, I said, okay, that, that's not too bad. It was just $100, but to me at the time that was a lot. So I went back and I auditioned and got the job. Was like terrified. I didn't know what to do. But I just started making good money. What was it? This was like a lot of white people out there in
and
Springfield.
and and tell them the difference. Tell them the difference between a shake joint out there and a shake joint from around the way.
Oh, like out here. Oh my gosh, very. It was just so different. The yeah. All I can think of is like fuegos and macombos, just trashy and ghetto. It's like no class to it at all.
And you
Well, the
take
big
that back.
difference.
Them girls
No,
in there busting
no,
it loose
no.
for $1.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
busting it
exactly.
loose.
Right. So that's the difference. I was appalled when I went in there. I was like, you want me to do what? Like for what? No. And some of them didn't even have $1. They just stand at the stage and, looking at you, ready to see you do some tricks. And they don't even have $1 in their hand. So that was the difference between 1320 and like Archibald's where I work. That's in DC, but that's a classier place. Um, I didn't have to do all that to make hundreds of dollars, sometimes $1,000. My birthday, my 21st birthday, I left with $2,000 because that was, it was a party for me. But
So how much on average? How much were you making a night?
like 500 a night or so. On a slower night, on a good night, I can make 1,000 a night.
So on good nights you was making 1,000,
Hmm.
and I would say more likely than not they were good nights because you work 7 days a week.
Yeah, I had more good nights than not. I mean, I don't like to say it like this, but I was one of the better looking girls. So I didn't have to do much. And that's why when I went to like these ghetto places, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Hey, you
Like,
take that back.
why
That is
aren't
dropping it low.
why aren't people handing me money? Where are the guys with the briefcases and the suits? And where are
No,
they? I was
no,
like,
they ain't gonna give you nothing until they see you bust it wide,
I
woman.
was
You better
I
bust
was
it
lost.
wide.
I was lost. I was like, this is not okay. I left. I left America's Best on stage. I left her on stage. I got down and I got dressed and I
That's
left.
because, hey, y'all, from my, cause she's from over the bridge, and my neck of the woods, she wasn't ready for that at
No,
all.
no, I
She
wasn't.
wasn't, she wasn't ready. She did not want none of the smoke. She didn't want no secondhand smoke, cigar smoke, hookah, none of that. You know what I'm saying? She was out of her element. But
Yeah, I
the
was.
reason, the reason why, like I said, when I met her, I wasn't even aware of the ism at all. You see what I'm saying? I just carried myself a certain type of way. And we instantly clicked, and I mean we've been 10 toes down ever since. But a lot of her friends, like she'll call me and say, hey, such and such just went out with a customer of ours. I'm like, I just, in my mind, I just can't figure out the thought process of a man that is, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't be a sponsor. I could not be a sponsor. I just couldn't. And that has nothing to, like, okay, let me differentiate it by saying that, like, if I have a home girl and we're cool and I want to do something nice, that's because I want to. You see what I'm saying? Now, if my intention is just to get a piece and I have to, and I'm paying like I'm weighing, there's something wrong there. Because like I said, what made me stop, the time when I stopped paying for it was when old girl, the working girl I live with, she said that, only Johns pay for what a real man would give for free. I'm gonna have to, because we are recording right now, I'm gonna have to have you stop putting the clothes away for a little bit, at least until we off the live.
Mm,
You
okay.
know, they can hear all that. It comes up in the
Oh,
audio.
I didn't know you could hear that. Okay.
Yeah, I blame myself. I should have been said something about that, but I let you slide a little bit, because of the bottom booty.
Just a little.
Just a little just a little bit.
Just a little.
All right, so back to the subject at hand. You know, how often, at least, I'm trying to figure out, because how often, now all of the Shake Jones you work, right? You can point out who were the Johns, and who were the guys that were actually looking for something else than, because look, if you're gonna go there, because I look at the girls as professionals. So I'm
Yeah.
going there for a service, nothing more, nothing less. Me personally, I don't even like lap dances. I just want to see a girl dance. I keep it pushing, because and the reason why I say this is because they're not going to put me in that category. They're not going to
Mm,
put me in that John category. So when I go, I throw some money on the stage. I put a little bit of money in a garter belt, and I leave it at that. But no, no, nah, I'm not rocking like that at all. So
mm.
how many Shake Jones did you work at where you was like, okay, these Bama's is all Johns. They weird. I already know what they talking about. Was it all of them? Some of them? Most of them?
All of them.
Damn.
But a lot of the white guys, like, the people who had money, even some black guys too. There were some people I was really confused because you look at them and you're like, okay, well, you shouldn't be having to pay anybody to get attention. Why are you doing, you know? But then, you never know what people's motives are in their head. Some people are just weird. But so those people would catch me off guard because you would expect something different, but then when you find out that they're doing the same thing that John is doing, you're like, oh, that's weird. But unfortunately, it was a lot. It was like that everywhere.
Okay. So we're gonna save the rest of this for the next live. We'll do another one probably a few days from now. I want the audio to be a little bit better. Not to mention, it's too many interruptions. I got my supervisor calling. I'm out here in Oxon Hill, so you already know what time it is. But before I go, I wanted to ask you, you know, because it's so funny, because I don't know what it's like at the Shake Jones you work at, but a lot of the ones I used to go to, they have this sign saying that, hey, this place is only for entertainment, nothing more, nothing else. You see what I'm saying? But then they got this little backstage where you go and you handle your business. Like how long does it take you to figure out that this stuff is going on?
It didn't take long at all
Damn.
because the girls who are doing it, they don't hide it. Well, once let me say this. Once they feel you out and figure out that you're not a snitch, or like you're not gonna be messy. Like you said, I was quiet. I'm the same way everywhere I go. I was just
Hmm.
quiet to myself. I was there to make my money and go home. And once they realized, like, okay, we could talk around her, that's when everything would come out. And like I said, what I noticed was like the girls who didn't look very good.
They
Those
the
would
ones
be the
turning tricks.
ones. Yeah, yeah. Because I
Okay.
mean, I didn't have to do that.
I
No.
mean, why would you if you was making $1,000 a night? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like off the if you're making $1,000 a night off the humble, you see what I'm saying? And this is again, this is just says Caucasian black people are not MGTOW. I didn't know that MGTOW had I didn't know that if you were black you couldn't be MGTOW. I never knew that. So I had a guy that was in the comments. He said black people are not MGTOW. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. So thanks for watching. But back on what I was saying. Uh, that kind of threw me off a little bit because I was like, hold on, because I'm looking at what he said and I see some people out here, about
Hmm.
about to get wild. But like you
I
were saying,
hear it.
right?
Hmm.
Like like you were saying, what I'm talking about is, do they have like a little VIP room or a special room that they went to or whatever?
No, not in DC. Well, actually, nowhere that I worked other than damn Fuegos. But but even that, it wasn't like a room. They have this little area in the corner. People could still see you because private dances, like private rooms, champagne rooms, that's not legally allowed. So, they, as far as like champagne rooms and stuff, they didn't have that nowhere that I've been to. So, what they would call a private dance, like at JP's, they had a place, it was upstairs and a downstairs. So, they would take the whole downstairs and make that for private dances. So,
Uh-huh.
they could sit in front of the stage, but like the rules, you can't touch them, you can't be close or nothing like that. They even had rules for us. We can't get on the floor. Once we take our
Mhm.
clothes off, we can't get on the floor. We can't bend over. We can't spread our
Man, come on.
legs. And
Like how you
yeah,
like, nah, look. I want to see you bust it wide. I
I mean,
want you to show every day that the Almighty gave you. Talking
those
about
were
some
the
you could like
rules.
what's that, man? I be up in there like, what, they can't do what? Man, get the
It
man,
was
get out of here.
it was weird though because they told us that we couldn't do all of that, but the stage that we would dance on, the main stage, had a clear floor, and the people coming up the stairs could look up and see everything. So none of that, it didn't make sense. But yeah, that's DC's rules. And then Virginia had all those same rules, and then we couldn't even get naked. We had to wear a thong and pasties.
And this is why people go to the Fuegos. This is why
Ew.
people go to the Irvins because anything goes.
Yeah, and I don't want to be somewhere where you got to bring your
Well,
own
I
towels.
want to be somewhere where they going bust it wide.
Yeah, well, there you go. Um, there you go. You can get stabbed too
Yeah,
at
you
no
ain't lie
at no
about
ex-
that.
at no extra cost.
I don't even know how many stories about that, but
Yeah, one
yeah, I
of my
surely.
customers got stabbed at Macumbo's. I said that's why you don't go there. That's what you get. He's
Well,
okay, but yeah.
we'll definitely we'll save the real stuff for the next time we chop game. Again, this is for y'all that don't know, this is my wife Hard Brownies, and she was just telling me stories. Well, she's telling everybody stories about when she was in the game. The highs, the lows. Because here what we're trying to do is tell everybody, what's really going on, behind the scenes. We're not trying to sugarcoat nothing. We don't have sweet tooth. I don't have a sweet tooth, so I don't sugarcoat shit. So we'll do another live pretty soon. I thank all of y'all for coming through. You see what I'm saying? We had a few watches today, and I really appreciate it. Hard Brownies, thank you for your time.
No
You
problem.
know, next time we'll really get into the underworld aspect of it and all the other little crazy off the wall stuff you saw. But I want to get America's Best, and I want to get what we gonna call her? Let's call her let's just call her the Amazon.
Well, the
Let's
Amazon would do it for sure. America's Best, I don't think so. I can talk to her about it,
Nah,
but
this will be some time later. This will be some time later. Cause I was thinking about it. I had the wheels running in my head, and I was like, hey, you know what? We can have the Amazon on. We'll talk to her pretty soon about it. And I'm just gonna ask her questions. Again, it's gonna be about the real.
hmm
Because even if I would have known you then, I wouldn't have gotten mad because a lot of people they don't like the fact that these women are out here making money hand over fist. I'm like, I don't really understand why. I mean, I'm all for y'all
yeah,
getting y'all coins. I'm mad at the suckers that are out here sponsoring women. They are
right. No,
sponsoring
yeah,
women, and they ain't
I
getting a
agree.
whiff.
I agree. And I'll be honest, I was just not that type. Like, I know you said there's nothing wrong with it, but to me, it just felt wrong to me to
Hmm.
like, someone who I'm not interested in to just keep going on dates and this. So I always made it known, like, hey, this is all we're doing. And if they made it seem like they were okay with that, then fine. But if they wanted something else, I don't care what they were offering me. I'm like, look, I'm not giving that to you.
Man, I would have like, hey,
And
you better
no.
stop playing the busted wide.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, nothing. That's why you walked up and touched about a motherfucking boss player. All right, I gotta go, girl. I'm about to go ahead and wrap it up. Hey, gentlemen, I really appreciate y'all. He said so far, black men. So for black men to now claim MGTOW was to gain power over whites by spiting men by taking their women. MGTOW was founded to combat things that black men are about in America. All right, so I wish you would have came on earlier, so I would have been like this guy right here was just talking about something. Um, I would like to have another live with you on it if you're open to it because I don't really
hmm
have time. I'm about to get off because he said MGTOW. So for black men to now claim MGTOW is nonsensical. I don't even know what he's talking about. But I would love to chop game with him again and we can debate. But now it's not the time. So hard brownies again, thank you. We'll
hmm
do another one soon. And like I said, man, subscribe to the channel, man. Like this is the place where everything is raw and uncut. We don't do none of that. We don't do none of that bullshit, none of that sugarcoating. Everything that I'm talking about can be verified. Everything that I'm talking about, you see what I'm saying, can be proven. And it's only going to get bigger and it's only going to get better. So I thank y'all for coming through. Peace out.